weekend at Sinsheimer. Hello, everyone, and welcome inside the broadcast booth. My name is Nate Mills, doing the play-by-play for you tonight and throughout the 2024 season, and we're getting you set up for Game 2 between the Coastal Dodgers and the San Luis Obispo Blues. Let's take a look at the defensive alignment going around the horn here for the Blues. At catcher, making his Blues debut, it's Josue Garcia. At first base, again, it's Chris Johnson. Second base, Judah Hill. At third base, it's Tyler Stevens, and shortstop, Jason Rodriguez. Left field, Jake Hicksonbaugh. In center field, it's Ethan Royal. And in right, making his Blues debut as well, it's Eric Furness. A lot of young bucks out there in the defense for San Luis Obispo and throughout the lineup as well. A lot of new high school faces coming into this game today. They're signing their contracts this afternoon and rolling right up to Sinsheimer to get ready for action here today. It was a little difficult to get them in yesterday as it was a weekday. It was a Friday, and they were having some classes they were still trying to finish up. I know some players had prom to go to as well. I'm sure that's carrying over into tonight for tonight's matchup against the Dodgers. But the Blues are looking to bounce back after a 10-9 loss against Coastal last night. A back-and-forth affair that saw a lot of hit-by pitches, a lot of errors, not too many balls hit in the outfield, except, of course, from the leadoff hitter in Ethan Royal, who had 2 triples last night, generating 3 RBIs, but we'll get to more of him later, as we'll see the Blues hit in the bottom half of this frame. But leading off for the Dodgers, it's Sho Garcia, the shortstop. Jeremy Camarena is going to follow him up, and Wylan Nelson. That's 1, 2, 3 for the Coastal Dodgers as we get underway here at Sinsheimer for the second time this season. On the mound for the Blues, it's Cody Albright making his Blues debut as well, the right-hander from Paradise Valley Community College out there in Arizona. First pitch taken for a strike, and we're underway. So he had 20 appearances in his time at Paradise Valley, generating a 5.19 ERA. Second pitch missing upstairs for ball 1. Spoke with him before the game, and he just has the absolute classic JUCO mindset. Just go out there and compete. He wants to go strike 1 to as many hitters as he can. Second pitch, swing and a miss for strike 2, fastball. He's got a fastball, curveball, and slider. He seems to have most of his confidence in that curveball. We haven't seen it yet. He's only thrown 3 fastballs here to Garcia. So we'll see if he has an out pitch here on 1-2. There's another fastball missing upstairs. Count now even. He threw mostly curveball in the bullpen. Saw him throw some fastballs. Not messing around with that slider too much. Bit of a rarity in today's game. You see a lot of pitchers going out there with the now called sweeper. Here's another fastball, poked foul out of play. We'll do it again at 2-2. But he had a pretty chill demeanor, I would say, sitting over at the bench during warm-ups, just taking some time to chat it up with his new teammates and try to get to know everyone as soon as possible. 2-2, swing and a miss. Drop third, and Garcia will tag out his counterpart, Garcia, for the first out of this game. So Sho Garcia goes down swinging in the first batter that Albright sees this afternoon. So now the third baseman, Jeremy Camarena, he was 0 for 1 last night and a hit by pitch and a stolen base. Camarena from Allen Hancock College takes a look at ball 1 outside. Heading into his junior year at the next level, a graduate of St. Joseph High School, the kid from Santa Maria. 1-0, swing and a miss, strike 1. And in his time as a Bulldog, last season, he batted a .220 clip. Season before, .338. So a bit of a regression last season, but still looking to call his next place home his junior year. Another swing and a miss for strike 2. Camarena down 1-2 here with 1 out in the top of the first inning. Still have yet to see the curveball that Albright was talking about. Yanked fastball misses upstairs. A lot of 12-6 action to it. You can kind of see it out of the hand. You can see the wrist flexing right over that right ear when he comes and delivers it. But it's pretty sharp, taking a look at it down there in the bullpen. Here's a 2-2 and a slider. Strike three call. A delay call from the umpire, but it ends up going down as a backwards K for Jeremy Camarena. And quickly, Cody Albright striking out the first two batters that he sees. So now that'll bring up Wylan Nelson, the designated hitter. Batting in the 3 spot last night, he was 1 for 4. And he takes a look at strike one. Last night he had a walked, RBI, and a double. It appears that Albright is, everything's going to plan for him. Just attacking hitters with the fastball. And there's a slider that's fouled straight back. Haven't seen that wicked curveball he's talked about, but hasn't really need to use it quite yet. Asked him if he saw anything in last night's game that would help him perform tonight. He was saying that the Dodgers were having trouble hitting that fastball. As there's another one swinging and missing for strike three. So just like that, the side is retired on 3 strikeouts from Cody Albright, and we'll head into the bottom half of the first on the SLO Blues streaming network. Back here at Sinsheimer after Cody Albright mowed through the first 3 batters of the Coastal Dodgers, striking out the side. And now the Blues will have a chance here to tack on a run early on. Already an improvement compared to last night's game where the Dodgers hopped on them early with a 2-0 lead. Leading things off for the Blues just like last night, it's the center fielder Ethan Royal. Royal takes a first pitch slider in there for a strike. Last night, a 3 for 6 evening. 2 triples, a single, and 3 RBIs. 0-1 misses outside, goes to the backstop. It's Ethan Royal, Jake Hicksonbaugh, then Eric Furness in the top 3 slots of the lineup this evening. Royal, a senior from Utah Tech. Swings and nubs this one over to third base coach Rene Regalado for strike 2. Down now in the count, 1-2's got a battle here. Local kid from Arroyo Grande High School, spent his first 2 college seasons at Cuesta. And takes a changeup downstairs, count even at 2-2. Dodgers outfielders playing slightly deeper than they were last night to Royal. He takes outside for a ball, count now full. John Perrick, the starting pitcher tonight for the Coastal Dodgers, the right-hander. Comes to Royal. Takes upstairs for ball 4. A leadoff base runner for the SLO Blues in the bottom of the first inning. And then that will give way to Jake Hicksonbaugh, the left fielder, and the only other left-handed bat in tonight's lineup. Just Hicksonbaugh and Tyler Stevens coming out of that side of the batter's box for the Blues. Got a pretty big hole over there with Anderson holding on Ethan Royal at first base. Big secondary from Royal, and he takes off for second as the ball gets past the catcher, Kakook. So just like that, a free 90 for the Blues, and there's a runner in scoring position for Hicksonbaugh. Hicksonbaugh last night went 1 for 4, single walk, 3 stolen bases. Talked about it on the broadcast last night, a threat on the base paths. He's certainly got speed and feel for running out there. Outfielder's got some good range. Shows bunt, gets it down, pretty hard hit to Anderson. He's got to flip it, it's not in time as Ethan Royal takes third base. So Hicksonbaugh successfully bunts for a hit as Anderson couldn't get it off to Perrick in time on the flip, and now there's runners at the corners with no outs for Eric Furness. Big moment for the young kid here who's entering his senior year in high school next year at St. Joseph's. Just wrapped up a season. He was a CIF semifinalist. He's currently uncommitted. The 1,200 OPS down there in Santa Maria. He takes a breaking ball for strike 1. 22 RBIs on the season for Furness. Looking for his first one for the Blues right now with no batting gloves up there. Hicksonbaugh takes off. Throw down to second, not in time. Another stolen base for Jake Hicksonbaugh. Runners now at second and third for the Blues. Makes the job a little easier here for Fournette, the speed that's on the base paths. Here's the 0-2. Checks a swing. No, he did not go. That'll be ball 1. Spoke with Furness during batting practice. He's got a lot of buddies out here from high school that he's played against, he's played with. Swings at this one. This one's going to drop in for a base hit. That brings in Ethan Royal and Jake Hicksonbaugh. Eric Furness in his first at-bat as a Blue brings in 2 runs on the 2 RBI single. What a way to make your debut here in the bottom of the first inning. Eric Furness gives the Blue a 2-0 lead with 1 swing. And now that gives way to Brendan Comerford, the designated hitter, batting 4th tonight. Real nice at-bat by Eric Furness to go down 0-2 and come back and put a nice swing and some solid contact on a ball, placing it perfectly in left center field, bringing 2 runs home as Comerford takes the first strike. Pick off the first, not in time. Furness is there safely. When I spoke with Furness, he was pretty even keel about playing against college competition. He said he had seen a couple pitchers throughout, fall ball, but never really a lot of serious action consistently facing guys. He really had to think about the last time he faced a college pitcher. So this is really the first moment for him in a real game that he's faced college competitive pitching, and certainly rose to the occasion with that 2 RBI single. Fakes taking off for second, and Comerford loops this one into the bullpen. for strike two. Comerford last night was 0 for 3. He had a walk. Was striking the ball well. Was just trying to find a hole. Certainly found a few at Ohlone where he batted .335 and a .658 slugging. Pick off the first again, not in time. Furness is there safely. Still no outs here in the bottom of the first inning. 0-2 to the Ohlone third baseman. Swings right up the middle and line to Keithley. Tries to go back to first, but Furness scampers there safely. So the first out of the inning, and a solid contact from Brendan Comerford again. Is unlucky again, but now that gives way to Tyler Stevens, another high school guy, third baseman from San Luis Obispo High School. He's heading just up the street to Cal Poly SLO next season as a freshman. Trying to walk on for the Mustangs next year. This one's in the dirt, but Furness holds up at first. Stevens, a two-time Max Preps Player of the Year for SLO High School in 23 and 24 seasons. (1-0). Taken outside for a ball. Throw back to first. Furness is there okay. Stevens last night 0 for 2. He had 3 walks. Here's the 2-0. Takes it in there for a strike. Shaking his head after that pitch. Maybe thought it was a little low. Still ahead in the count here. With a runner on first base, 1 out here in the bottom of the first. 2-0 lead for the SLO Blues. Here's the 2-1, and it kicks off the shin guard of Kakuk. Furness takes second base. And that will be all as Stevens improves to a 3-1 count. Another good opportunity here for the Blues to drive in another run, potentially trade places with Furness, who advanced on that ball that got to the backstop. Here's the 3-1 to Stevens. Big cut right through that fastball. Count now full. Stevens at SLO High School last season had 18 RBI. Here's a ball that's looped into shallow left center field. That one's going to drop and get past the center fielder in Firestone. That will easily score Eric Furness, and just like that, another RBI single for the Blues. Tacks on one more for San Luis Obispo. Working that 3-2 count, all you have to do is just loop that single into left center field. Don't got to hammer it. That gets the job done as it got past Firestone. That gave enough time for Eric Furness to score from second. I think he would have been able to score just fine if the ball was handled cleanly. That just added on extra safety that he'd get there okay. As Chris Johnson now comes in for the Blues and takes a look at strike one. Johnson, also a San Luis Obispo High School Tiger, becoming a Cougar next year at Cuesta College, a first baseman. 0-1. Swings and loops this one to shallow right. Welch is underneath it, and going back to first is Stevens. There's a second out of the inning. So a pop out from Chris Johnson. There's now 2 outs in the inning. And Josue Garcia making his debut for the Blues tonight. Catcher who's had some pretty insane numbers his sophomore and junior seasons on varsity. Senior year was pretty good as well, this season that he just wrapped up here. He's committed to Cal State Fullerton, no surprise to me, coming from Pioneer Valley High School down there in Santa Maria as well. Take a look at this. A .519 average his junior year. And that's not even his best average he's had in a season. He had a .538 average as a sophomore. Pitch off the shin guards again from Kukuk, and advancing to second base is Stevens. So certainly has the resume that fits the mold for the Cal State Fullerton Titans. They finished in the lower half of the pack this season in the Big West. So they could sure use his bat next year. Clanks off the glove of Kukuk, and there's another free 90 there for Tyler Stevens. So 2 pass balls for the Dodgers, and Tyler Stevens goes from first to third. A 3-0 count here to Josue Garcia. .3-0 to the left-handed hitting catcher. Takes a look at strike one. So not often you see a left-handed hitting catcher. He's actually the third lefty in tonight's lineup. Takes a look at ball 4, and now there's runners at the corners with 2 away. So now Judah Hill, the second baseman, strides into the batter's box for the Blues. Keeps the baton moving with 2 outs here. Going into his senior year at Arroyo Grande High School, the uncommitted infielder. Runners on first and third, 2 outs. First pitch swinging right on top of the changeup for strike one. Judah last season batting at a .267 clip in 86 at-bats. 3 home runs on the year. Here he is, 0-1. Swing at the fastball at his eyes. Here's the 0-2. Taking off for second base was Josue Garcia, but Judah Hill takes a look at strike 3, and that'll end the inning. But the Blues get 3 runs as we head to the top of the second inning on the SLO Blues streaming network.
3-0 Blues. Don't forget fireworks.
top of the second inning, and Cody Albright heads back out on the hill for the Blues. After the San Luis Obispo does some damage on the scoreboard there, collecting 3 runs on 3 hits. Cody Albright looking sharp early on. First inning, strikes out the side. 1, 2, 3, and he goes strike 1 right here to begin the inning. I'd like to remind you that this half inning is brought to you by Apex Technical Sales, located in Paso Robles. You can find them at glenair-apex.com. Apex Technical Sales, we're here to make you successful. 0-2 to Ryan Kakuk, the catcher. Had a few botched balls that allowed some Blues runners to advance and eventually come around to score, and he goes down swinging. Strike 3. 4 strikeouts in a row for Cody Albright. And now coming in, Jetner Welch, the right fielder. Last night for the Dodgers, he was 1 for 4, a single and 2 walks. Welch swinging at the first pitch, lining this one to Hickson. Ball has to move a bit to his right. Camps underneath it for out number 2. Real quick work right now for Cody Albright, instantly getting 2 outs. So now Michael Firestone will come on up, the center fielder. He was 0 for 4 last night, including a hit by pitch. Fastball skipping in the dirt for ball 1. Freshman from Santa Barbara Community College. From that area, graduate of Santa Barbara High School. 1-0 taken upstairs. Count moves to 2-0 for Cody Albright, who's been making quick work of the Dodgers so far. Here's the 2-0, big cut from Firestone. Right through the barrel, now 2-1. Arizona native comes set. Now home, missing upstairs again. Talked with Albright before the game. He's leaving Arizona just as it's getting awfully hot over there. 104 is the high today. And here in San Luis Obispo, it's a cool, crisp 65 degrees. It's a change that he has welcomed, to say the least, so far. Now 3-2 here. 2 down in the top of the second. Missing upstairs, and there's the first base runner for the Dodgers this evening. A 3-2 walk from Cody Albright puts Michael Firestone on with 2 outs here.
Next up for Coastal, number 39, the first baseman,
Theo Anderson, freshman from Dunn High School. He's going to Santa Barbara Community College next season as well. Native of Los Olivos. First pitch swinging on the fastball, fisted into the netting, foul. Anderson's has some pretty insane high school numbers himself down there at Dunn. Another big swing from the lefty, now quickly 0-2. I want to talk about cartoonish. How about a .577 batting average as a junior? Entering his senior year. Taking off for second is Firestone. He gets there, no throw. As there's ball 1 to Theo Anderson. And he's just improved each season. With the runner on second base now and Michael Firestone after a stolen base. Good time to mention he has 33 RBIs on 30 hits. Here's a number back to the mound, but foul. 6 home runs, 5 doubles. More home runs than doubles his junior season at Dunn High School. I'm absolutely nerding out over these numbers right here. Only struck out 15 times in his entire high school career. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. So the Dodgers strand a runner at second base. Theo Anderson couldn't do the damage we know he can do. It's still 3-0 SLO Blues on the SLO Blues streaming network. Bottom half of the second, and Cody Albright has been pretty solid for the Blues so far, and I say that offense is pretty solid as well. The high school kids coming through, tacking on those 3 hits and those 3 runs in the bottom of the first inning and leading things off. Another high school kid heading into his senior year. It's Jason Rodriguez now up for the Blues, leading things off. It'll go 9-1-2 here in the bottom half of the second. Rodriguez, a shortstop from St. Joseph's High School. He's actually heading into his junior year of high school at St. Joe's. Currently uncommitted. And takes a look at the 1-1 slider for a strike. Falling quickly to 1-2. The Blues last inning scored Ethan Royal and Jake Hicksonbaugh and Eric Furness on 3 hits from Hicksonbaugh, Furness, and Stevens. The 1-2's taken for a ball. Some good at-bats from the young kids being pieced together. You have to wonder what that chemistry is like down there in the dugout with all these college and high school players. As taking a look at strike 3 is Jason Rodriguez. That'll be the first out of the inning. We'll flip it to the top to Ethan Royal.
Back to the top of the lineup for the Blues.
But in that conversation I had with Eric Furness, it's been nice to be around the college guys who have been there and done that and have played multiple seasons in summer ball, and Ethan Royal is just one of those guys. Just trying not to overthink things, just trying to have fun. That seems to be the mantra throughout this season. As this one's looped out to right center, that's going to drop in for a base hit. It hung in the air for quite a long time. I thought it would be enough time for Firestone and Welch to communicate and someone to come down and get it, but they were just kind of looking at each other and it dropped right in between them. So the first base hit of the day for Ethan Royal. He's been on successfully in his both of his at-bats. So now Jake Hicksonbaugh strides in with the runner on first base. Hicksonbaugh had a single and scored a run last time he was up in the first. Taking off for second is Royal. Throw will not be in time. Garcia wasn't even on the bag. Easy stolen base for the Utah Tech center fielder. And this is what you love to see the Blues do. Being threatening on the base paths, swinging the bat, finding some grass early and often. Just trying to stack up the runs early and just trying to suffocate them with the pitching. Aggressive secondary from Royal. He holds up, but Hicksonbaugh takes for a strike. Hicksonbaugh from Monterey Peninsula College, a graduate of Atascadero High School last year. And he takes ball 2 outside. Not the year he was expecting at Monterey Peninsula. He will be returning back there next season. Was a crafty little player for the Blues last summer. entering his freshman year, filled in spots where he was needed. He was primarily an infielder. Big swing there on the fastball upstairs, 2-2. Was primarily an infielder heading into the summer. They were asking him to play in the corner outfield. He just put his head down and said, yes, coach. Filled that spot. Gave him a middle of the order spot in the lineup. They'd hit him all over ever since. Came through with hits when they needed him to, and he comes through with one right here. Regalado is sending Ethan Royal home, and an RBI single for Jake Hicksonbaugh as he advances to second on the throw. Blues jumping early with a 4-0 lead from the RBI single by Jake Hicksonbaugh. 2 hits on the day for the kid. Vibes are high here at Sinsheimer. People are scoring as the Blues score here early in this game. And now Eric Furness with another RBI opportunity here. Last time he was up, he had a 2 RBI single. That got things going here in the ball game. Hicksonbaugh at second base, and fouling straight back into the netting is Eric Furness. One out in the bottom of the second inning for the SLO Blues. Pouncing early with a 4-0 lead. Hicksonbaugh takes off for third. Here's the throw down, not in time. A stolen base for Jake Hicksonbaugh. And another insurance run just 90 feet away for Eric Furness, the senior at St. Joseph's High School. Like I said before, 22 RBIs in his high school season last year as a CIF semifinalist. Big cut at the changeup, goes right over it for strike 2. Outfielder starting to shade back a little bit. You can see him creeping slowly as the Blues have been collecting hits. Here's another pass ball into the backstop, and Jake Hicksonbaugh will moonwalk home for the 5th run of this game. SLO Blues getting after it early and often. They have a 5-run lead in the bottom of the second with 1 out. And it's already been a tough evening for Kakuk behind the plate. Ball's kicking off the shin guard, off the glove, going underneath him. Hasn't been the backstop that the Dodgers were anticipating him being this evening. I don't have anyone going in the bullpen here as Furness goes back in there in a 2-2 count. Base is empty for the right-hander. Here it comes, big cut for strike 3. Eric Furness goes down swinging, and there's 2 away. So now Brendan Comerford hopefully can get lucky in this at-bat. He's been unlucky in the past 2 games. Hitting the ball hard, it's just right at people. In his last at-bat, he lined out to second base a little off the end of the bat, but still some pretty solid contact by Comerford. Keithley made a nice play ranging to his right, was able to snag it out of the air for the first out of the first inning. As Comerford takes ball 1 here. Here's the 1-0 to him. That one taken for a strike. To me, that looked to be nearly in the other batter's box, but we'll go ahead and do it 1-1 here to Comerford. Kicks and fires is Perrick. Breaking ball, that one's taken for a strike. Third baseman from Ohlone down 1-2 with 2 away here. Here comes Perrick. Takes a look at the slider for strike 3. So the SLO Blues tack on 2 more runs on 2 singles from Jake Hicksonbaugh and Ethan Royal. And before we head into the next half inning, our reporter Mark Robinson sat down with manager Dean Traynor talking about this season on the SLO Blues streaming network.
What is up, Blues fans? I'm here with the man, the myth, the legend, the one and only Coach Dean Traynor. Coach, you have a very deep resume with the San Luis Obispo Blues. What does it mean to you to be back here coaching this team for another season?
I tell you, it's come full circle, you know, and it's great to be here. And that might be the best introduction I've ever had. Holy smokes! But the atmosphere here, the city support, I mean, it's unbelievable. Just just like last night, we came up a little short, but a lot of fun.
Definitely. And obviously you've got a very awesome group of guys that you're coaching this summer, some of your SLO high school players as well. What are you most looking forward to with the group that you've got playing out on Sinsheimer Field this summer?
Well, I think it's a good showcase for the local kids, you know, and until the D1 and D2 players get here, when they get out of school or out of the playoffs or whatever. But it's just a good feeling. You know, they were nervous last night. It's good to play in front of that many people, and it's just a great experience. And I was talking to them today. Everybody had a great time last night, and and that's what it's all about is coming out and playing in front of family and friends and having a good time.
Great. Thank you so much, Coach. We're so excited to have you back with the Blues this summer.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
yes.
you.
8-9-1 for the Coastal Dodgers here in the top half of the third inning. SLO Blues tacked on 2 more insurance runs from a single from Jake Hicksonbaugh and a single from Ethan Royal. Hicksonbaugh, that's his second hit of the day and his first RBI. Now a 5-0 ball game heading into the end of the first third of this game. Leading it off for the Dodgers, it's Liam Keithley, the second baseman. Albright challenges him with the fastball, blows it right by him for strike 1. And Keithley had an interesting day yesterday, went 0 for 0, had an RBI, 2 walks, a hit by pitch, and a sacrifice fly. This one's skipping in the dirt for ball 1. For a guy having 4 at-bats going 0 for 0, it's kind of a fun thing to look at as he takes a look at strike 2. And Cody Albright's been doing a great job at getting hitters to strike 2. That's what he was telling Ryan and I in the pregame. And there's strike 3 to Liam Keithley. Cody Albright just keeps attacking these Dodger hitters with the fastball. Haven't even seen that curveball yet. And he starts off the third inning with a strikeout. Already Albright's 6th strikeout of the day. Just entered the third inning. So now Mateo Colleen, the left fielder, goes to Hacken at the first pitch, strike 1. And Albright was raving about the curveball. Hasn't even need to use it yet. Just been fastball, fastball, fastball. Another fastball. This one's spoiled out of play. And now quickly Colleen is down 0-2. A lot of confidence from the right-hander, who got some looks from Oral Roberts, St. Mary's back in the fall. And this one's poked in the right field. This is the first Dodgers hit of the day. Mateo Colleen sends a signal to Eric Furness, and he gets that one in. And now here's a base runner for the Coastal Dodgers. We'll flip it up to the top of the order for Sho Garcia, the first strikeout victim of Cody Albright this evening. Not the first time Albright has worked with a base runner tonight. There's a walk back in the second inning to Michael Firestone, who was eventually stranded at second base. And now with 1 out here, it's Mateo Colleen at first and Sho Garcia up. Colleen takes off for second base, and he'll get there no problem. Popping up on the slide on the dirt ball read. Real good jump from Colleen. Most likely got the steal sign from his coach at third base, Chris Joyce. But a good jump, did it on the right pitch. Breaking ball in the dirt. Gave him enough time to swipe second base. 0-2 to Sho Garcia, here it comes. Slider, strike 3 looking. There's the 7th strikeout for Cody Albright in the middle of the third inning. And the second one of the day for Sho Garcia. So now Jeremy Camarena, the third baseman, with a runner on second. Struck out looking his last time up. Albright lofts a curveball upstairs, taken for a ball.
Top of the lineup for the Dodgers.
Albright takes a look at second, now comes home. This one skipped, and a good block by Garcia back there. Garcia hasn't really been challenged yet this evening because Albright has just been throwing strike after strike. So far, he's risen up to the occasion, blocking 2 dirt balls in front of him, keeping the runner from advancing as Colleen takes off for third. Throw is in time, but the tag can't get there for Stevens. Just a little offline to Tyler Stevens, who had to come across his body and swipe the tag on Mateo Colleen. And he's in there safely on the second stolen base of the night. So now a 2-1 count. 2 outs here in the top of the third inning to Jeremy Camarena. Swing and a miss for strike 2. Deuces wild for Cody Albright, looking for his 8th strikeout through 3 innings. Here's the 2-2. Popped up
Heads up on the first base
into the stands. And we'll do it again.
Young man grabbed it after 1 bounce. He'll take it home thanks to Fortin's fireplace shop, personal service and expertise.
Camarena, 9 strikeouts in 41 at-bats last season at Allen Hancock. 2-2, lofted out to right center. Talking are the 2 outfielders in Royal and Furness, and Royal gets there no problem. So the Dodgers strand a runner at second base. Little dicey there for Cody Albright, but he holds them to another goose egg as we head into the bottom of the third inning on the SLO Blues streaming network.
Number 221 and number 190.
Bottom half of the third here at Sinsheimer Stadium. SLO Blues got a 5-0 lead on the Coastal Dodgers. Dodgers are getting 1 hit so far through 3 innings. SLO Blues got 5 runs on 5 hits. And leading things off, the guy who got a hit in his last at-bat, an RBI base hit at that, it's Tyler Stevens, third baseman from SLO High School. Pops this one back foul for strike 1. Last night's contest, he was 0 for 2 with 3 walks. Now would be a good time to remind you that Richardson is the official hat of the CCL. This half inning is brought to you by Richardson. Takes a look at the changeup for strike 2. Now 0-2 now to the left-handed hitting third baseman, heading to Cal Poly next season. 0-2 from the belt. Fastball missing outside. Pretty close take there for Tyler Stevens. A little close there for 2 strikes, but we'll do it again. 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So Tyler Stevens goes down swinging to kick things off here in the bottom of the third, and now Chris Johnson will head on up. Fifth strikeout of the day for the Blues. Now the lumbering first baseman heading to Cuesta College next year heads on in. Nubs this one foul near the Blues dugout.
At the plate, number 27.
Second team All Mountain League honors as a Tiger this past season. He graduating high school this year, then take the drive of about 15 minutes up north to Cuesta. 0-1, taken for a strike. And Chris Johnson, his last at bat, popped out to the right fielder in Welch. Had a base hit last night, though, a hit by pitch and a walk. 0-2, taking all the way. Fastball yanked into the other batter's box. From the windup, here's Perrick. Big swing and a miss for strike 3. So 2 strikeouts in a row for Perrick to get things going here in the second inning. And now Josue Garcia, who walked his last time up, heads in for the Blues.
Out of Cal State Fullerton, number 12, Josue Garcia.
Garcia committed to Cal State Fullerton, and one of those guys I was geeking out over his numbers just a little earlier. Certainly earned his stripes there with the Titans as he takes strike 1. Yeah, 1207 career high school OPS. Yeah, that'll do it. Big cut at the 0-1, quickly falling down to 2 strikes. Garcia walked his first time up back in the first inning. The left-handed hitting catcher. 0-2 tap behind the plate. We'll do it again. Oh, 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. Blues up 5-0. Another nubber going over to the Blues dugout. Still 0-2 to Garcia. Perrick from the windup. 0-2 again. Swing and a miss. There's a drop, third strike. Throw to first. In time, and the side is retired. 3 up, 3 down for John Perrick. And we'll now head into the top of the fourth inning where Ryan Giacomini will be joining me doing the color commentating through the rest of this game on the SLO Blues streaming network.
So what's going on here is you'll notice
3-4-5 for the Coastal Dodgers as we enter the middle frame of this ball game. It's Wylan Nelson, Ryan Kakuk, and Jetner Welch as Ryan Giacomini, our color analyst, joins me for the rest of this ball game. Ryan, Cody Albright has been pretty spectacular so far. Only 45 pitches through 3 innings. What are you seeing out of the right-hander?
He's been absolutely fun to watch so far. He is just pounding the strike zone, exactly what he told us before the game. He said yesterday one thing he noticed is that the Dodgers were having a tough time getting caught up with the fastball, and he's pounded them with that pitch early.
Yeah, he hasn't need to go to many of his secondary pitches as he blows another fastball right by Wylan Nelson for strike 1. Yeah, and it appears they're just getting outpowered by him. I mean, he really hasn't had to gone to that curveball that he was hyping up to us a little earlier. You're wondering if he'll just start to throw it just so he can work on it.
Yeah, and you might see it a little more just here in the second time through the order. They've all seen the fastball now.
Another fastball, this one sharply hit right to Judah Hill. He does a little hop and catches it on a line for the first out of the inning.
Good rip there by Nelson. Just hit it right at a glove, unfortunately, and Judah Hill did a good job to go upstairs and make the grab, keep a leadoff base runner off the bases.
So now Ryan Kakuk, the catcher, who's had an unfortunate day behind the dish. A lot of balls getting past him, giving up some free 90s to the Blues, and he was one of the many strikeout victims from Cody Albright tonight. He's no stranger to the CCL. He played for the Conejo Oaks last season. I don't know if his stats are posted on Point Streak. He was player of the game back in July 23rd for the Oaks last season with their very colorful social media. I love reading their tweets, these game updates. They're written in all caps, and they all have at least 2 exclamation points whenever there's success for the Conejo Oaks.
Yeah, I'm counting maybe 15, maybe more in the tweet we're looking at right now.
One-two count to the former Conejo Oak, and he goes down swinging on the slider. Cody Albright, another strikeout for the kid, and quickly, once again, 2 away here in the top of the 4th.
These Dodgers hitters are just so in between with the timing. Gave him the changeup there after pounding the fastball the first time through the order, and the Dodgers hitters have no idea what's coming when they're at the plate.
That's the second strikeout to Ryan Kakuk today, and now Jetner Welch, who lined out to left field his last time up, gets a chance.
Be interesting to see what happens after this inning. Albright told us that he was only looking to throw about 4 innings today, but I mean, at this rate, he could throw an entire game. He's only at 53 pitches.
A very light workload for Cody Albright. We are seeing some action in the slow Blues bullpen. It's Omar Reynoso getting hot. 0-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Ninth strikeout for Cody Albright as we head into the bottom of the 4th inning on the Slow Blues streaming network. Blues are back with the bats. It's going to be Judah Hill to lead things off, the second baseman who struck out looking his last time up.
Made the great play in the top half of this inning, though, to keep runners off the bags.
Some nice defense from the rising senior at Arroyo Grande High School, who's currently uncommitted. He takes a look at fastball first pitch for a strike.
Really good opportunity for a kid who's uncommitted to look at some college pitching, and maybe someone's out in the crowd has some connections for him as well.
And he got some solid exposure last season in a few at-bats with the Blues. Those statistics are not available on Point Street currently, but played in a handful of games with the Blues to start off the season last year, just like he is right now. Here's the 1-1 count to him. Taps this one towards down the first base line, foul. Now falling to 1-2 is the kid from Arroyo Grande High School. Here's Perrick from the windup. The pitch is popped up. Looks like this one will be in play. Thought that was going to go over the netting, but Kaku couldn't get there in time. And there's another life for Judah Hill.
Yeah, got to take advantage now. That's pretty. I would assume they were going to make that play, and now he has another chance to get on base with nobody out.
Still 1-2 to Hill. Here comes Perrick, swinging and missing for strike three. So Judah Hill strikes out for the second time today, this time swinging. And now that gives way to Jason Rodriguez, who struck out in his at-bat last time, this time looking.
You would like to see the Blues get the bats going again. Had 3 runs in the first, 2 in the second, and then went down 3 strikeouts in the third, and that was 4 straight now for Perrick. So Perrick's turning around a little bit.
4 Ks in a row for the Coastal Dodgers. Jason Rodriguez trying to cancel that trend immediately.
Outside of a few good pieces by the Blues, Perrick's thrown pretty good.
Big swing and a miss for strike one. I'd like to remind you, Plan Perfect Corporate Retirement Plan Specialists. Be sure to contact Sherry Tollerman at planperfectretirement.com. This one tapped over to Garcia at shortstop. He makes the long throw over to first, and plenty of time for the second out of the inning. So Jason Rodriguez grounds to short, and that will flip the lineup back up to Ethan Royal, who's just seeing the ball really well right now.
Yes, he is. He had the 2 triples last night as well as a base hit. He got a walk and a base hit tonight. He's doing it all. He's also scored both times he's been on base today. Really been a great piece for the Blues early in the season.
Trying to be a spark plug and avoid the 1-2-3 inning like they had in the third. It's a fastball for strike one.
I want to point out, Nate, that we are in the bottom half of the 4th inning. That was the first ground out of this game.
Takes a look at ball one upstairs. Yeah, I mean, it's Royal and Hicksonbaugh are putting the ball in play. Furness and Stevens have hits of their own, and other than that, the outs have been strikeouts. It's really just been a base hit that finds the outfield grass and the gaps, or it's been a strikeout. I mean, ever since the second inning, the Blues have been awfully quiet on offense.
Perrick with 8 strikeouts and Albright with 9.
And here's Royal into center field. That one's going to drop in for a base hit. And it gets past the center fielder and Firestone, and that will give another base to Ethan Royal.
He is just seeing the ball so well right now and putting good contact on it every single time. His 5th hit of the season in just 8 at-bats with the Blues.
Yeah, and this one wasn't necessarily scorched into the outfield. This one was kind of just hit off the end a little bit. He's got that bomb bat, so a ton of feel coming out of the guy who's played summer ball a few times. But this one nestled right in front of Firestone, and he just misjudged it, and, you know, he was able to take second base with ease. So now 2 outs for Jake Hicksonbaugh as Royal takes off for third, and he's in there no problem on the head first slide.
I've had such a fun time the last 2 days watching him. I cannot wait for the rest of the summer with him around. One of the few guys who are on this team right now who are staying for the remainder of this summer.
Done an excellent job in that leadoff role for the Blues early on in these 2 games. Done exactly what you want him to do. As Hicksonbaugh with a sword on that one, he went around.
I would not be surprised at all to see Royal get a big lead, a big secondary, and go on anything that squirts away from Kukuk at all.
And he's seen a lot of looks at balls getting past Kukuk. He's seen some go off the shin, go off the glove. Got to think that Royal's ready to go on anything. Here's Hicksonbaugh down the left field line, and that is just foul.
Good swing there from the lefty. It just kept slicing away. I thought it was going to have a chance to land fair, and it was about 5 feet foul, but just kept slicing. Good barrel, though. Just time it up a little bit better, hit it back up the middle.
Hicksonbaugh has 2 hits on the day, one of them an RBI single in the second inning. He's down 1-2 here with 2 outs. Royal at third base. He takes a look at a skipper in the dirt. Deuces wild to the lefty. Two-two to Hicksonbaugh. Swinging, popping this one up out of play, and we'll do it again.
All right. She scored herself a free
Gotta love the base running from Ethan Royal to go ahead and swipe third base with 2 outs.
Yeah, a bold decision, but he has shown off his speed and athleticism these past 2 days. Wonder if he got the sign or if it was just a decision for him to go, but 2 stolen bases on the day for him now.
Taking off for third with 2 outs, something we've seen already a handful of times in the first 2 games as this one skips around the dirt, and surely enough, Ethan Royal was ready to take home, and he does.
Good heads-up base running by Royal, and now that stolen base looks big because you get an extra run here in the 4th inning.
Yeah, it set himself up well on that ball that skipped in the dirt and almost hit Hicksonbaugh. And now Royal, all 3 times he's been up, he's reached and scored.
Yeah, a lot of productivity from the top 2 guys in this lineup.
Payoff pitch to Hicksonbaugh. Takes a look at strike 3. He didn't like that call, but the Blues tack on another run from a wild pitch that scored Ethan Royal. We'll head into the top of the 5th inning. Blues up 6-0 on the SLO Blues streaming network.
contest brought to you by the Wallace Group.
The best news of the evening for the Coastal Dodgers. A new pitcher for the San Luis Obispo Blues, and it's the left-hander from the College of San Mateo, Omar Reynoso. Cody Albright's day is all finished with 9 strikeouts through 4 innings and only 55 pitches.
What a performance from Cody Albright. 4 innings, 1 hit, and 9 strikeouts for the kid.
That's just exactly what you want, and that's the exactly what he wanted his reps to look like coming into today's game. And right on cue, he said he wanted to go through 4. That's exactly what he did, and now Reynoso will get a chance here with a 6-0 lead for the Blues. And standing in his way first is Michael Firestone, the center fielder who walked his first time up. Only one of the 2 base runners that Cody Albright allowed in his 4 innings of work. Reynoso saw limited action as a Bulldog last season in 10 1/3 innings pitched, a 6.10 ERA. As that fastball's in there for a strike. 6 strikeouts in those 10 1/3 innings, 5 walks. Spent last summer with the Blues as well. As the 1-1 to Firestone is taken for strike 2.
Not a guy that throws very hard, but has a few different movements that'll throw hitters off.
Yeah, he'll mix around with the changeup. He'll mess with the slider. He'll place the fastball that has movement. That's how he gets batters out. Here's a breaking ball. This one's fisted out to Royal in center field. Makes a few steps to his left, and he'll squeeze it for the first out of the inning.
Good job there. I mentioned he's not a guy who's going to beat you with the fastball, has a lot of movement, and that's going to cause a lot of batters to have soft contact. That one was hit decently, but it was right at Royale in center field. It caught on the hands a little bit of Firestone, and a good job to get the first out.
So now Theo Anderson, the first baseman, switch hitter who struck out swinging in his last time up, now faces Reynoso. Fastball outside for ball 1. Another guy with cartoonishly good high school numbers. We were going over them last time he was up. Clearly a dangerous hitter. Reynoso gets a challenge against him here as this one skips right past him for ball 2.
Yeah, watching batting practice from up here in the box, he was hitting the ball really well. One of the better hitters that we saw, at least during batting practice today.
Yeah, during batting practice, not a lot of balls getting out of the infield, or a lot of the hitters were trying to keep it low, but Theo Anderson was just letting it fly. Certainly catching a lot of eyes in the stands during batting practice. One of the louder sounding bats in the bubble. As he's up 2-1 here against Reynoso, who kicks and deals. Fastball in there for a strike. Home plate umpire is just loving that outer half for right-handed hitters this evening. Giving pitchers a lot of grace in that zone, calling strikes.
Perfect for Reynoso with that fastball with some outside run to righties.
2-2 to Anderson, taken for strike 3. He goes right back to the spot where he got strike 2, and he sits down Anderson.
What a good pitch there. He's just attacking on the outside every single time. Fastball, fastball, fastball. And then he goes a little slider with some action, and it catches him off guard, catches the outside part of the plate.
If it worked for strike 2, why not go right back at it for strike 3? It's exactly what Reynoso did. A quick 2 outs brings up Liam Keithley, the second baseman. He squares around to bunt, pulls it back, and home plate umpire calls that one a ball. Another good spot for Omar Reynoso. I'm not exactly sure where that one missed. And it's 1-0 to the second baseman, Keithley. Swing and a bouncing ball diving to his right is Rodriguez, and he can't come up with it. Liam Keithley reaches safely on the ground ball base hit to Jason Rodriguez.
Good job there by Rodriguez to knock that ball down. It wasn't hit very hard, and Keithley showed off his speed a little bit last night. I wouldn't be surprised to see him challenge and go for 2 there if Rodriguez doesn't knock that ball down.
Keithley, a lot of experience on the base paths last night with his 2 walks and the hit by pitch. 0 for 0 last night, but now it's Mateo Killeen. And Reynoso just going right back to that outer half on the right-handed hitters for strike 1.
Yeah, going to have to be aware of Keithley over there. He tried to steal 3 times, was successful twice last night.
He takes off, and I think they got him picked off. Throw to second is not in time. And it looks like the throw beat Keithley as Reynoso tried to pick him off at first. Keithley was reading first movement, and he took off for second. He went over to Chris Johnson, and the tag applied at second was not in time.
Yeah, I think Hill might have dropped it out there. The tag might have forced it out of the glove.
Either way, now a runner in scoring position for the Coastal Dodgers. Second time they've seen a runner in such position this evening. It's coming in the top of the 5th inning for Mateo Kaline. Kaline chops this one over to second, a miscommunication. That's going to score a run for the Coastal Dodgers. And man, Furness just came up with a cannon. I was not expecting the ball to jump out of his hands like that. The throw certainly beat the runner in Keithley, but it was just a little up the line for Garcia to go out and get it. Home plate umpire says the tag was not applied, and now here comes Dean Traynor heading on out to have a discussion.
And I think Dean might be right. From our angle up here, it looked like he slapped that tag on him just farther up the third base line, and interested to see if Dean maybe will ask for some help or what here.
2 instances where instant replay would be rather helpful in this scenario in this inning. This call right here is costing the Blues a run, and that will be the first Dodgers run of this game. An RBI single from Mateo Kaline. I'm not exactly sure what happened on that play in between Hill and Johnson. Johnson was going after it. It looks like Hill called him off, but he kind of just stuck his glove out there with no intentions of really getting after it. First pitch swinging for Show Garcia will loft it out to Ethan Royal, and that will end the top half of the 5th inning. But the Dodgers get their first run of the game on an RBI single from Mateo Kaline. It's 6-1 Slow Blues on the Slow Blues streaming network.
$10 gift prize to
New pitcher for the Coastal Dodgers, it's Lucas Ginder coming out of Dos Pueblos High School. He'll be a freshman in college next season. But he'll get to work with Eric Furness, Brendan Comerford, and Tyler Stevens. So John Perrick's day is done after 81 pitches, letting up 6 runs. 9 strikeouts of his own as first pitch swing on the fastball is Furness for strike 1. The Blues made Perrick's life difficult in that top half of the order especially, but when they got down to 5-9, he was just racking up those Ks. Ginder comes set on the 0-1, and this one's ripped down the left field line for Furness. Rounding first base, and there's his second hit of the evening.
Another really good at-bat there from Furness, the rising senior, putting it together here today for the Blues.
Yeah, and this was a hot shot going down the left field line. Really loud contact coming from his bat. That's something I saw a lot in batting practice today. A lot of solid contact coming from these Blues hitters. A little different sound from what we heard yesterday coming from the bubble in pregame. First pitch swinging is Brendan Comerford, and here's a towering fly ball. Firestone calls off the shortstop Garcia, and there's an easy first out of the inning.
Comerford just reached a little too far outside of the zone, got it off the end of the bat, was able to square it up and hit it straight out into center field. But just couldn't get the bat out there and hit it hard enough to do any damage with that pitch.
Yeah, you know he's just getting really, really froggy as he's just missing a lot of the pitches that he's swinging at, referring you back to the line out to the second baseman in the first inning where he just hit that off the end of the bat. Wasn't enough to squeak through for a base hit, and he just went to hacking there on the pop out to center fielder in Firestone. So now with 1 out away here, a runner on first and Eric Furness, it's Tyler Stevens, the third baseman. He had an RBI single in the first and struck out last time up. Takes a look at the fastball for ball 2. Left-handed hitter, graduate of San Luis Obispo High School going up the street. Next season to Cal Poly SLO, he'll try to walk on for the Mustangs. Swinging in another towering pop-up. Firestone calls off the second baseman Keithley, and there's the second out of the inning. So 2 pop-up outs in a row for the Dodgers, and now Chris Johnson strides to the plate.
A little different approach for the Blues in this inning. They got Perrick to throw 81 pitches in just 4 innings. They're being patient, working hitters' counts here. Only 6 pitches so far this inning for Ginder.
And Ginder getting those 2 pop-up outs from Comerford and Stevens. So now get to work on Chris Johnson, who popped out back in the first to the right fielder in Welch. And then back in the third, struck out.
Johnson had some really good at-bats yesterday. We were talking about it a little bit before the game. He said it's just fun to have good at-bats like that. It's fun to come out. Even if you don't get on base, you're still seeing a lot of pitches and having a good time at the plate.
Taking off for second is Furness, and he's in there safely with a stolen base. Runner in scoring position for Chris Johnson. An opportunity to get that run back that they lost to the Dodgers in the last half of the inning.
Fifth stolen base for the Blues tonight.
Getting scrappy on the base pass. The runner on second, inside move from Ginder, no throw. 2 outs, runner on second, and a 2-0 count to Chris Johnson. SLO Blues with a 6-1 lead in the bottom of the 5th inning. At the belt, here comes Ginder. Johnson, a slow swing, and the ball gets away, but keeps it in front is the catcher. And it looks like we have a new catcher replacing Kukuk, I believe. Could be Bubby Campbell. Difficult to tell with the gear covering the number as Chris Johnson goes down swinging. And some confusion as the players exit the field. That was, in fact, the third out of the inning. So the Blues strand a runner on second base. We head into the top of the 6th. Blues up 6-1 on the SLO Blues streaming network. With a click of the heels over the foul line, Omar Reynoso totes the rubber once again. Top 6 here at Sinsheimer Stadium. SLO Blues up 6-1 over the Coastal Dodgers in Game 2 against Coastal here on opening weekend for the SLO Blues. Reynoso filling in for Cody Albright, who is fantastic this evening, only throwing 55 pitches in 4 innings of work, 9 strikeouts, and Omar Reynoso led up the 1 run, but still escaped a jam with a runner on first base. He collected a strikeout of his own, got 2 flyouts as well last time he was out there in the 5th inning.
And really just some unlucky hits there in the 5th inning. Had that one that kind of squid to the left of Rodriguez at short, and then the miscommunication by the right side infielders.
So leading off for the Dodgers, it's Jeremy Camarena, the third baseman, who flew out to center and struck out looking his last 2 times up. Reynoso kicks and fires. Fastball in there for a strike.
Good spot. Put it on the inside part to the righty.
Here's the 1-1 from the left-hander. That one skips in the dirt for ball 2. Reynoso, no stranger to the Blues. He spent summer with them last year. 11 2/3 innings pitched, a 3.09 ERA. 10 strikeouts for Reynoso. Nubbed back towards the Blues dugout. Count even now at 2-2. Not the season he wanted at College of San Mateo or really with the Blues last year, but was absolutely dominant his senior year in high school with an 0.64 ERA in 54 1/3 innings pitched. 72 strikeouts in that frame, only 18 walks. 2-2, lofted out to left field. Hixenbaugh battling the sun, creeps in a few steps. He'll get there with no problem. There's the first out of the inning.
Reynoso's doing a really good job just getting soft contact that's playable for his defense. So what he's going to do is that fastball tops out at about 75 and then has the changeup and curveball he goes to as well that just gets really soft contact.
Yeah, and a lot of these college hitters aren't used to seeing velocity like that, and there's going to be some major adjustments they're going to have to make to adjust to Omar Reynoso, as there's a first pitch fastball for a strike. You know, even at the Division I level, you see a guy throwing that slow. I mean, it's hard not to get too in your head about it and try to do too much with that pitch, as this one skips in the dirt for ball 1.
Yeah, and he has about a 10-mile-an-hour drop-off with the slider, so you're seeing velocity all the way down to about 65. Very rare to see that at the college level, and it just throws off the hitters.
Something these guys aren't used to on the 1-1. And a big cut from Wylan Nelson now down 1-2. Nelson in his last 2 at-bats lined out to Judah Hill, who made a great jumping catch at second base, and he struck out swinging in the first.
He probably had the hardest hit ball of this game on that line out to Judah Hill.
Here's the 1-2 to Nelson. There's a sweeper taken outside for a ball.
A good pitch there. Tons of horizontal and vertical movement. That one all the way down to 62 miles per hour.
Playing with velocity here, Omar Reynoso in the top of the 6th inning. Here's the 2-2 to Nelson. That one taken inside, and that will fill it up 3-2.
Reynoso, although giving up the 2 hits in his first inning, did a pretty good job keeping the pitch count down. Only had 15 pitches in that 5th inning, but already up to, this will be the 11th pitch of this inning.
Kicks and fires on the 3-2. That one hits Nelson, and he'll take first base on the hit by pitch.
The first hit by pitch by either side tonight, which we saw way too many last night.
Yeah.
So kind of surprising to see not as many today, but a good thing for sure.
And now a base runner at first base. It's Wylan Nelson. And now hitting for the Dodgers, I believe this is Bubby Campbell. And Campbell takes the first pitch for a ball. Campbell, who lived in the Blues' nightmares last night with 3 base hits, 2 RBIs on the night. Filling in for Ryan Kukuk on the big swing from the catcher, count now at 1-1.
Pinch hitter is Bubby Campbell.
Campbell fouls this one back out of play into the grass concourse. Kids and adults alike scrambling for the baseball.
Bubby Campbell, pinch hitting for Ryan Kukuk.
Looks like a dad came up with it. Hands it over to his son. Good vibes. 1-2 from Reynoso, fouled back into the nearly exact same spot. And kids once again flocking towards the foul ball.
Same group of kids there.
Yeah.
You imagine, right in the same spot. Getting a lot of action over there, and that just at a play off to the right.
Didn't even give them enough time to run back to their parents' lawn chairs. They were already in the area. Here's the 1-2 to Bubby Campbell with Wylan Nelson on first base. And that slider nearly hit Bubby, and it skips away from Garcia. And Nelson can just trot into second base.
Garcia's done a really good job tonight keeping the ball in front of him. Just the second wild pitch, of the day for the Blues.
Now a runner at second base, and Wylan Nelson for Bubby Campbell on 2-2. This one skips in the dirt for ball 3 on Campbell. Campbell has proven if you put it in the strike zone, he'll do some damage to it. He'll serve it out to all parts of the ballpark. Blues trying to avoid that here with 1 out and a base runner at second base. Here's a 3-2. This one's served out of play. Another foul ball for Bubby Campbell, staying alive in this at-bat.
Doing a lot better job this inning. I mentioned only 15 pitches last inning. This is going to be the 8th pitch of this at-bat between Reynoso and Campbell.
Bubby Campbell working a quab out of the left-handed hit pitcher in Reynoso. Here's the 3-2, sent out to center field. Royal giving chase. He gets there, and tagging from second is Nelson. And he slides into third. The throw almost got there. But Wylan Nelson's in there safely after tagging on the fly out to Ethan Royal.
Then just Reynoso, soft contact in play. That's his bread and butter so far in this game. See if that happens again here against Gentner Welsh.
Yeah, now the next task for Reynoso is straining that runner at third base. A deep fly ball from Bubby Campbell. Wylan Nelson was able to tag on it because Ethan Royal was still moving when he caught the ball. It was a good opportunity deep in the gap to tag up from second base, and clearly had enough time to get there safely. But Gentner Welch, who lined out to left field in his first at-bat, does so again right here to Jake Hicksonbaugh, and the Dodgers strand a runner at third base. Omar Reynoso gets out of the jam. It's still 6-1 Blues on the SLO Blues streaming network. Bottom 6 here on the SLO Blues streaming network. San Luis Obispo up 6-1 against the Coastal Dodgers. And leading things off for us here is the catcher, Josue Garcia. Garcia with a strikeout and a walk so far today in his San Luis Obispo debut. First pitch swinging and a hard hit grounder right to the Garcia counterpart, and a nice pick at first for Anderson. Gets the first out of the inning.
Went up there swinging. Garcia did kind of a different approach than he's had the last 2 times where he walked and struck out on 4 pitches. But he hit the ball pretty hard right on the ground, just right at Garcia.
So now it's Judah Hill. He's got 2 strikeouts on the day. And he gets a crack here with 1 out in the 6th, and he takes a look at strike 1. Here's the 1-0 to Hill. And takes a look at ball 2. Now would be a good time to remind you that this inning is sponsored by Studio Design Group Architects. You can find them at sdgarchitects.com. For 40 years, they've designed buildings with one thing in mind: people. That's Studio Design Group Architects in San Luis Obispo. One-two count from the second baseman from Arroyo Grande High School. This one's a high bouncing ball to Camarena. Long throw to first is there, and plenty of time. 2 quick outs here for Ginder in the bottom half of the 6th inning.
Yeah, Ginder making really quick work of the Blues this inning and last inning. Last inning had 10 pitches. This inning he's thrown 5, so 15 total for Ginder in 1 2/3.
So now it's Jason Rodriguez. He grounded out to short last time up. Struck out looking the time before that. Takes a look at the fastball upstairs. And you're right, Ryan. It seems that the Blues have abandoned that strategy of seeing a lot of pitches, and they're just going up there hacking early on in their at-bats.
That was something we saw a lot from them last night early in the game, as that one misses inside. Being really aggressive. And then later in the game, they were talking about shortening up their swings, and they were getting on base by the walk, by the hit by pitch, getting soft base hits, and it worked for them.
Fastball taken for a strike. On the 2-0 count, now moves to 2-1 with 2 outs to Jason Rodriguez. Yeah, we said we talked to some coaches before the game. We talked to some players, and what really got the Blues transitioning into their mindset of working through counts and seeing a lot more pitches. You know, honestly, when I asked the question, I thought the answer was going to be a lot more deeper than it actually was, but it was simply just hitting Coach Rene Regalado saying to shorten up. Shortening up right here is Jason Rodriguez with a base hit down the left field line.
A really good piece of hitting. One of the better hits we've probably seen in this game. The inside fastball, and he was sitting on it. He turned, got in front of it, and pulled it down the third baseline for a 2-out hit.
Yeah, doing exactly what you're supposed to do on that pitch. Ginder came in on him, in on the hands of Rodriguez. He started that swing just in time. He was choked up and got the barrel right where he needed it to. And speaking of barrels, here comes Ethan Royal, the leadoff hitter for the Blues, who's 2 for 2 tonight with 1 walk. Here's another hard contact chopper over to Garcia, boots it around, and he'll flip it over to second base, and that'll end the inning. So Ethan Royal is retired for the first time tonight. We'll head into the top of the 7th, but before we do, we'll see Mark Robinson talking with Ethan Royal on the SLO Blues streaming network.
Blues fans, I'm here with outfielder Ethan Royal. Ethan, last night you had 3 hits, 2 triples, and a single in your first game as a Blue. How did that feel?
Felt great. It's great to be out here. Beautiful place.
I know you played 2 seasons at Cuesta, and then you went down to Utah Tech for a season. How does it feel to be back on the Central Coast, your hometown, playing baseball again?
It's great. I miss this weather.
Yeah, fair enough. Last question for you. Just to give a little bit of a fun side to the fans, do you have any superstitions or anything that you practice during baseball?
I eat the same Subway sandwich before every game.
And what is that Subway order?
It's a foot long on the Italian urban cheese, ham, pepperoni, bacon, lettuce, pickles, olives, and the creamy sriracha. You got to try it.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Good luck tonight.
Thank you. Thank you.
Red Dot program to beer one or two and get your $3 beer, your $3.
Real nice interview there from our sideline reporter, Mark Robinson. He got to chat with Ethan Royal, who's been the hottest hitter for the Blues this season. And I don't know, Ryan, I just could not order that Subway sandwich just so many times. It sounds delicious, but every game since you were in 7th grade?
Yeah, I don't know. We have a 24/7 Subway on campus, and last year, on being a freshman and living in the dorms, I got it way too much, and it's repulsive now.
It sounds like a very good sandwich, as this one's popped out to shallow center. Calling everyone off is Furness, and he puts that away for the first out of the inning. Yeah, the ingredients he was talking about in the interview, it sounds great. You know, just like in a vacuum, I would order that sandwich absolutely. But really think about how many baseball games that is. He's entering his senior year of college. Let's go back to 7th grade. There's travel ball, there's high school games, there's fall ball games. I mean, that's the next question for him. Did the fall ball games count as well? Because it's like technically a scrimmage, but I don't know. Thank you to Ethan Royal for spending some time with us, with Mark Robinson, sitting down with that interview.
Going to see a lot more of that as the season goes on, Mark. Getting started here, we're going to do a lot of those in between these innings to let you guys get to know the players and coaches of this squad a little bit more.
There's a giant cut from Theo Anderson. His account's now 1-1 to the big lanky switch hitter from Dunn High School in Los Olivos. He struck out his last 2 at-bats, his only 2 at-bats tonight. Another huge hack at him for strike 2.
Good changeup there. 11 inches of drop on that pitch.
Yeah, it's tough to hit. Nearly a foot of drop on the changeup. Here's Reynoso on the 1-2, skipping in the dirt, taken for a ball.
He goes right back to it, just throws it a little bit lower. A good setup pitch now in a 2-2 count.
Yeah, why not go right back to it? He's got 2 giant swings from Anderson.
Interested to see what he'll do off of the back-to-back changeups.
2-2 from Reynoso. Another changeup, swing and a miss for Theo Anderson. 3 strikeouts on the night for the first baseman. And Omar Reynoso's second. If it's working for you, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I just tried to reinvent the wheel with another saying. Let's just say if it ain't broke, don't fix it. He goes right back to the changeup after Anderson took it. He generates the 3rd strikeout of the evening for Anderson, and so now it's Liam Keithley, the second baseman. Actually, we're getting a pinch hitter here. It's Joe Tallarico in for Liam Keithley. Keithley, who had a base hit last time he was up, stole a bag and eventually came around to score, the only run for the Dodgers tonight. So now his night is done as Joe Tallarico fills in for him now. Big looping curveball drops in there for a strike.
60 miles an hour on that one, but about 1.5 feet of vertical drop.
Wow. 0-1 to Tallarico, same exact pitch, fisted out to shallow left field. Giving chase on it was Rodriguez as he fell on his back, and it leaks in for a base hit on Tallarico. Coming right off the bench, pinch hitting for Keithley.
And he went right back to that curveball, but he just left it a little too high that time, and after seeing it on the first pitch, Tallarico just pulled it right over Rodriguez's head at short.
And it seems like Reynoso thought he could do the same thing to Talerico that he did with Theo Anderson, just going right back to the changeup. But clearly, Talerico is familiar with his game and was able to just drop in that base hit. As the pickoff to first is sailed right in front of the bullpen. And now Talerico rounding second, heading towards third. Throw is offline and not in time. So Joe Talerico goes first to third on the pickoff attempt from Omar Reynoso.
That's a big mistake. You let a runner get 180 feet on one error, and now a runner on third with 2 outs. He's going to be super aggressive down 5 runs. Anything that might squirt away from Garcia will most likely be a run for the Dodgers.
0-1 here with 2 outs, a 6-1 lead for the SLO Blues. Top of the 7th inning. Reynoso comes home. Fastball just missing upstairs.
Good spot with that one. Just missed a little bit high, but a good pitch here early in the at-bat.
Big swing and a miss. And it actually looks like Mateo Kaline is out of this game. It's Mason Aaron from Allen Hancock College now hitting for Kaline. Kaline also had 2 base hits on the day. One of them the only RBI for the Dodgers tonight. This one skips right in front of Garcia, is able to keep it in front, prevent the run from coming home. Now 2-1 to Mason Aaron.
Aaron had a really good game last night. A pair of hits, was walked, hit by a pitch, officially 2 for 3.
Enters this contest with a runner at third, and he swings and misses through the fastball that ran away from him at the 2-1 count.
I think Garcia thought that was strike 3. But strike 2, so you'll have to do it one more time. Full count, actually.
Some confusion on the scoreboard here. I have 3 different scoreboards saying 3 different things right now. But it's a full count to the right-hander from Allen Hancock College, the rising freshman. 3-2. Missing upstairs for ball 4. So now runners at the corners. All of a sudden the Dodgers have a little 2-out rally going here.
And maybe that's just Reynoso working around a guy who has been hitting the ball, or hit the ball well yesterday, to get to Show Garcia, who's 0 for 3 today. Didn't have any at-bats yesterday, but just work around him, maybe get a bat up there that's not as hot as Aaron.
So in Garcia's first 2 at-bats, he faced Albright and struck out in both of those at-bats. In his one Omar Reynoso AB, flew out to Ethan Royal in center field, adding up to an 0 for 3 clip, as you said. But now he's dealing with 2 outs and runners on first and third here. Down 5 in the top of the 7th inning. Reynoso comes home, and this one's touched down the left field line, but foul.
Good crowd here tonight at Sinsheimer on this beautiful, cool night in San Luis Obispo.
Weather's looking a lot better. I don't think there's any rain threat that we saw last night, just kind of coming out of nowhere, just adding chaos to the already hectic game here. As taking off for second base was Aaron, and now a throw on the run goes to first. He pump fakes, and now they got Aaron in a rundown. And Aaron will be tagged out, and that will do it for the Coastal Dodgers. They do get the run, though, off of a Rodriguez decision to not go to first, pump fake, and actually get out Mason Aaron in the rundown. So Dodgers tack on another. It's 6-2 SLO Blues. It's time to stretch on the SLO Blues streaming network.
Stand up, stretch your legs, and
2-3-4 for the SLO Blues as we enter the bottom of the 7th here at Sinsheimer Stadium. A 6-2 advantage over the Coastal Dodgers in Game 2 of their 2-game series. Still on the mound is Lucas Ginder, getting to work against Jake Hixenbaugh. This is Hixenbaugh's first time facing the right-hander after striking out looking his last at-bat and getting a pair of base hits in the first 2, RBI in the second one. Oh, 1 to him. Swings and taps it right at home plate for foul ball. Now having to battle here with 2 strikes.
Hixenbaugh had a good at-bats in both the first and the second inning. He's 2 for 3 with an RBI, a couple runs, a stolen base. He's doing it all today. Looking to spark something here in the 7th inning, excuse me.
Check swing, fouls it off, and stays alive. Taking a fall back there was Bubby Campbell. We'll do it again here. 8 hits tonight for the SLO Blues, generating 6 runs. 5 hits for the Coastal Dodgers, only coming up with 2. Fastball missing way outside to Hixenbaugh. Easy take for him now, 1-2 to the kid.
Stay on target. Too close. Stay on target.
1-2 to Hixenbaugh. Missing outside again with that fastball, kind of even at 2-2. Some new stadium theatrics this year. Some sounds pumping throughout the stadium I'm not used to. There's Ginder missing way outside on the fastball. On that last pitch, he missed outside with the curveball this time.
Yeah, a lovely group of people up here in the press box with us this year, and some new guys testing the waters.
Payoff pitch to Hixenbaugh. Missing outside again to Jake. And he gets awarded first pitch on the walk, first base on the walk.
Really good at bat there from Hixenbaugh to work it from a 2-0 count and get on base for Furness, who's hit the ball really well twice already today.
Yeah, Furness with the 2 base hits and a stolen base. He had 2 RBIs back in the first inning. That's what got the Blues offense going in the top of the order. But they've been awfully quiet since the 4th inning where they tacked on another insurance run via a pass ball. But it was the first 2 where they really manufactured it with the 3 spot in the first and the 2 spot in the second inning. But it all began with the Eric Furness 2 RBI single. Taking off for second is Hixenbaugh, and he will be out. Ooh, and I don't know, Ryan, that throw did not beat him. I don't think any part of that play beat Hixenbaugh at second base.
No, I don't think so at all either. I'm surprised Hixenbaugh isn't staying out there at second. No movement from the Blues dugout to see if he wants any help, but I mean, I don't know about that.
I mean, the throw didn't beat him. The tag didn't beat him. And I'm surprised they're going down quietly on this one.
Me too.
But so that'll be the first out of this inning. Jake Hixenbaugh is caught stealing. And so now Eric Furness will work out of a 2-1 count here with 1 away instead of a runner on second base. Furness swings and nubs it right at home plate, foul.
Although he was caught, I really like the idea of getting aggressive on the base pass with a 4-run lead. Tried to extend that lead and make it harder for this Dodger team to come back, who last night proved that they can score runs, and they can score runs in a hurry.
Yeah, just more of the same for the Blues, right? They're just trying to find their identity right now early in the season, and based on how Hixenbaugh's been running around the bases and, taking his at-bats, it seems like he is the model for what Dean Traynor wants his Blues, how he wants his Blues to go about the offense.
Yeah, absolutely. They've been really aggressive today and later in the game yesterday.
3-2 to Furness, a towering pop-up. Converging is Firestone. He calls off everyone, and he'll squeeze it for the second out of the inning.
Got a little underneath that, probably dropped the back shoulder a little bit and just skied it, but he made pretty good barrel-to-ball contact.
I mean, I'll say that one was just a big league pop-out. That was towering above the lights, almost made it difficult to see for the fielders converging on the ball, but Firestone eventually was the last guy to say, I got it, and that's an easy second out for this inning. So now Brendan Comerford is trying to find some green grass still. There's a big cut on a breaking ball for strike one. Comerford a pop out to center field, line out to second, and a strikeout looking in tonight's game. 0 for 3. The Ohlone infielder dribbles it to second base. Garcia over to first, and that'll do it for the Blues in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Another goose egg for San Luis Obispo, but they still have the lead 6-2 on the SLO Blues streaming network.
There on the third base steps to see how many buckets of
Omar Reynoso's day is done here in the top of the 8th inning, and Tanner O'Farrell will replace him. His teammate from San Mateo College, a local kid from Paso Robles High School, entering his sophomore season with the Bulldogs, just like Omar. And Omar had a pretty solid outing, Ryan. I know he gave up those 2 runs, but a lot of his stuff looked good. A lot of the breaking things had a lot of hitters fooled.
Yeah, and he did throw really well. He just gave up a few hits, but not a lot of hard contact, which is something he can definitely work with going in to the rest of this summer, because soft contact is going to result in outs. It'll occasionally be hits, but it's hard to string together soft contact hits.
As we enter the top of the 8th inning here, now would be a good time to remind you about the sponsor for this half inning. It's Studio Design Group Architecture. As this one's fouled out of play. Studio Design Group Architects. They can find them at sdgarchitects.com. For 40 years, they've designed buildings with one thing in mind: people. That's Studio Design Group Architects in San Luis Obispo, located at 762 Higuera Street. So O'Farrell, high effort on that pitch as the hat comes off, but not in there. It counts now 1-1. Leading off for the Dodgers, it's Jeremy Camarena. As O'Farrell generates a swing there for strike 2.
Farrell might need a new hat.
Yeah.
that one looks a little loose. It's fallen off the last 2 pitches he's thrown.
It could be the hat, but I think it's the flow. The flow is allowing the hat to just slide right off the head.
There it goes again.
There it goes again, and he gets another foul tip. Now 1-2 to Camarena. I could just never grow flow like that. In my playing days, I always envy the guys that could get the wings going over the ears and the hair going straight down the back of the neck. I just look like Coconut Head from Ned's Declassified, if anyone can get that reference out there. Hat comes off again, and this one's low in the dirt.
I think he should just leave it off.
Why not at this point?
He's wasted a lot of time going and picking it up from almost the infield grass off the mound every at bat or every pitch.
You know, it adds to the theatrics here at Sinsheimer. We're known for that here at the SLO Blues, just trying to entertain the crowd, and I think that's doing that so far. So Farrell's now worked himself into a full count here after those 3 misses and 3-2 to Camarena. Here he comes with the payoff pitch, and he strikes him out swinging on the fastball. So O'Farrell, the first batter he faces, he blows the fastball right by Jeremy Camarena for the first out of the 8th inning.
Go to the marketing tent, pick up your Bon Tom Creole Cafe bottle of Slow Heat.
It's a good pitch there. Went off speed and threw it in the dirt in a 3-2 count. Camarena just looking to protect and took a hack at it.
Yeah, and O'Farrell was just living low that entire at-bat, and he didn't really try to do too much to adjust there and overcompensate and maybe, sail it. He just kind of lived low, and ended up, straightening it out and generating the strikeout, the swing and miss from Camarena.
Hey, the last pitch he just threw for a ball, first curveball we've seen from him.
Here's a fastball and a bloop to Hicksonbaugh. He calls it, squeezes it for the second out of the inning. So a strikeout and a pop-up to the left fielder Hicksonbaugh in O'Farrell's first 2 batters this evening. So now that'll give way to Bubby Campbell. He flew out his last time at bat to Ethan Royal out there in center.
Yeah, good at bat though for him in his first at bat of the day. Saw 8 pitches and then made pretty decent contact. Just got a little under the ball and flew it out to Royal. Different look for the Mustang or the Blues. Excuse me.
We're not at Cal Poly anymore.
Yeah. On the mound, a lot more velocity than Reynoso, who was hitting about 74 pretty consistently. That last fastball he threw on the fly out to Nelson, 83. So seeing about a 10-mile-an-hour difference, which might not sound like a lot, but it is a ton up there at the plate.
Yeah, it's a different look for sure. It's a different arm slot. It's coming out of a different side of the rubber. Reynoso, who's a lighter effort, soft-tossing lefty. And you got O'Farrell, who's giving it his all up there from the right-handed side as he comes on top of that fastball and gets a chopped foul from Bubby Campbell.
Yeah, his release point is kind of different than what you see from most pitchers because he's almost falling away, kind of like Tim Lincecum did back in the day, and he throws over the top even though it's like a 3/4 angle pitch.
Yeah, the herky-jerky delivery makes perfect sense why the hat is coming off. As a hitter, that can be disorienting. When you have all that movement, it's difficult to pick where your eyes should follow when you have so many things moving at once. But he's gotten 2 quick outs here, so it's been effective for O'Farrell so far. There's a big swing and miss over the breaking ball.
Being a former player, did something like this ever happen to you while you were in the box where the pitcher's hat is flying off?
It would happen like 1 or 2 times, and then it would stop after a while. Typically what I've seen is you flip the back part of the hat so it's a little tighter, but he's just rocking with what he's got right here as he hits Bubby Campbell on the breaking ball.
Is that distracting at all as a hitter?
Yeah, it can be. If it's a guy like O'Farrell here and you're moving around a lot, yes, it can be. But when the hat, it's kind of just like, that's funny. So Bubby Campbell is awarded first base on the hit by pitch. So now Jetner Welch will get the baton here. He lined out to left field in 2 of its at-bats today. He struck out to end the 4th inning. 0 for 3 from the left-handed hitting right fielder. So O'Farrell working with a base runner for the first time tonight. It's Bubby Campbell over there at first.
Jetner Welch has hit the ball really hard twice in the same spot. He's having the approach of going the opposite way today.
Looks like he was trying to on that swing as well. There's the swing and a miss for strike one. And you can just tell that's where his approach is. That bat stayed in the zone for an awfully long time, and he was hesitating on that follow-through. As a left-handed and right-handed hitter, that is a clear diagnosis that you're trying to go that way. If the bat path is really fast to start off your swing and then it's slow to finish it out, that just tells me that you're trying to push it that way. You're never going to hit the ball hard if you're just trying to fillet it or think about placing it that way. He goes the opposite way, changes up his swing, and there's a base hit. Maybe I spoke too loudly as Jetner Welch changes his swing mid-at-bat and still takes it the opposite way for some decent exit velocity and keeps the line moving. Now runners at first and second for the Dodgers.
Yeah, that was more of the latter approach that you explained, where he was fast and then slowed down to try to catch up to the ball a little bit, and he was able to just poke it past the shortstop Rodriguez, who was shaded a little more towards the third baseline, knowing that he had hit the ball hard to the left twice.
Free swing in for Welch awards him his first base hit of the evening, his second of the series. And now Michael Firestone, who flew out to center field twice and walked, will get his fourth at-bat of the evening with 2 runners on and 2 outs here. Firestone shoots this one right back to the screen.
Now the Dodgers are in business here with 2 on and 2 out, looking to chip into this 4-run Blue lead.
And there is some action happening in the SLO Blues bullpen. We'll try to get you that number as soon as we can. Can't really tell who that is right now. But it's a left-hander for San Luis Obispo getting warm.
Well, there's not many of those, so that narrows it down.
Two-one to Firestone. Here it comes, fastball in there for a strike.
The only 2 lefty pitchers I have on the roster are Reynoso, who already threw, and Felix Stork, so that's my best guess. But he did throw yesterday.
Deuces wild to Firestone. Breaking ball from O'Farrell and a delayed strike 3 call. So the Dodgers strand 2 more runners at first and second. Another goose egg for Coastal as the Blues are still up 6-2. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th on the SLO Blues streaming network. New noodle for the Coastal Dodgers, and now it's Wylan Nelson. He's been doing the designated hitting tonight for the boys in blue, but now he'll tote the rubber with his pink glove for the Coastal Dodgers here in the bottom of the 8th.
He's been doing a good job up at the plate. We'll see what he could do on the mound. I believe he's listed as a pitcher on their roster that they provided us. Nate will go over his stats from his high school years.
Yeah, committed as a right-handed pitcher to the University of San Diego, a rising freshman from Ventura, California. And mostly hitting stats from Max Preps here, but they list him as a pitcher. So you can't help but wonder if those pitching stats are on Game Changer or a paid subscription
somewhere
else. But he was the 2023 first team All-County for Ventura County, and he actually received an invite to try out for Team USA, coached by Larry Lee, whose son Brooks Lee is a former Blue. So he'll face Tyler Stevens with a big swing for strike 2. The future Cal Poly Mustang, who could potentially be playing for Larry Lee next season. It's 1 for 3 on the day. Takes a pitch outside for ball 2. RBI single in the first. Strikeout swinging in the second, and a pop out to center field in the 5th. Fastball missing inside, fill it up at 3-2.
Lucas Ginder finishes the day on 36 pitches, 3 innings, 3 hits, 1 run. It was earned, and a strikeout.
Nelson missing outside, and Tyler Stevens works himself into a walk. So a leadoff base runner for the San Luis Obispo Blues, and now Chris Johnson will get to work.
Chris Johnson would love to get a base hit here. He's 0 for 3 on the day with a pair of strikeouts. Had a hit yesterday. Had some really good at-bats as well yesterday outside of the base hit.
Yeah, was able to get on base twice as well. He is still trying to do that tonight now under the lights. Last night he had that single that you said, Ryan, as he chops this one to third. He'll go to second through Keithley, and the throw to first is in time to Anderson. So the 5-4-3 double play for the Dodgers all of a sudden adds 2 outs to the inning.
Yeah, and Johnson has been a lot more aggressive today. He's seen 9 pitches. All of but 2 have been strikes. So he's just being more aggressive, swinging the bat, something that we did not see from him at all last night. He drew a walk. He got hit by a pitch in a 3-0 count. So a different approach from today.
Yeah, hungry to get his second base hit as a Blue is Chris Johnson. This is a little too out in front on that chopper to third. Got that double play, so now it's Josue Garcia. Swings and misses for strike 1, count even at 1-1. And Garcia grounded to short his last time up, struck out and walked. As he calls time, and I believe that's no pitch. Taking his time in the batter's box is Josue Garcia, the left-handed hitting catcher.
Johnson, only 1 hit on the season, but the biggest hit of the season as it was the first for the Blues of the summer.
Pitches way outside. Catcher was set up nearly in the other batter's box as count moves to 2-1.
We've seen that outside strike called a lot to the righties, not as much to the lefties.
Comes inside to Garcia. This one's a chopper to the pitcher and Nelson. Flip it over to first. No problem. So the San Luis Obispo Blues, after a double play and a number to Wylan Nelson, will head into the top of the 9th. Well, they'll try to hold down the Dodgers with a 6-2 lead. Stay with us on the SLO Blues streaming network. Tanner O'Farrell heads back out there to try to close the door on the Coastal Dodgers here with a 6-2 lead over them. San Luis Obispo Blues trying to tie the series with them, as here's a grounder to Judah Hill. Quick throw over to first, and a first pitch, first out for Tanner O'Farrell on the Theo Anderson ground out to second.
Good job there by Hill to knock it down, keep it in front of him, and then he picked it up and he had to fire it over to first, threw it hard, but Johnson able to stretch it out and get the first out of the ninth inning.
Yeah, and I think it caught Hill off guard, the long strides from Theo Anderson. He thought he had plenty of time. His head was looking down at the ball, and he had to zip it over to Johnson. Good job by him for not yanking it into the dirt and causing a snowball fight out of that play. First pitch breaking ball from O'Farrell is in there for a strike to Joe Tallarico. (0-1) sent right into the Blues dugout. Now quickly falling down to 0-2. And so Tallarico came in to pinch hit for Liam Keithley. Keithley was 1 for 2 on the day, and Tallarico, in his first time up, coming off the bench, earned himself a base hit. Went first to third on a wild pitch, and almost gets hit here on a breaking ball from O'Farrell. Dodgers bagged a run back in the 7th after getting one in the 5th. And he got a goose egg after that, and O'Farrell's trying to give him another one here as he evens it up at 2-2.
Good pitch there from Farrell, just pulled it a little bit. Our PA guys having fun with Tanner O'Farrell's hat falling off every pitch.
This one's launched out to deep center. Pretty hard to see with the twilight sky, but no problem for Ethan Royal. He's done that a few times, and he comes up with the second out of the inning.
Blues are just 1 out away from their first win of the 2024 summer. See if they can get it done.
Standing in their way first is Mason Aaron, who walked his last time up.
Mason Aaron been on base 5 times in this series.
Very familiar on the base paths, and I'm sure he'd want to do the same again here and flip it up to the top of the order for Sho Garcia. First pitch to him. Takes a look at strike one. 83-mile-an-hour fastball from Tanner O'Farrell. O'Farrell comes set at the belt. Kicks and deals on the 0-1. Check swing, and they say he went around. So a good break there for Tanner O'Farrell on the Mason Aaron check swing, and that ball skipped right in front of home plate.
Yeah, that pitch was filthy, though. Had a ton of straight down movement. We haven't seen that pitch a lot from him.
So now in an 0-2 count, the Blues are 1 out away from their first win of the season. Breaking ball, strike 3 looking. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, your SLO Blues win for the first time at Sinsheimer Stadium in the 2024 summer. And it's coming a 6-2 victory over the Coastal Dodgers.
An incredible game there from the Blues. A much different game than last night where you had 19 runs scored. Today just 8, but the Blues able to get runs on the board early. Albright able to go out there, shove in 4 innings, get the win. Reynoso did a good job, and so did Tanner O'Farrell. A great job by the Blues today.
Yeah, and you nailed it on the head, Ryan. I think the biggest difference in tonight's game compared to last night was that pitching. I think both pitchers on both sides of the ball were able to throw a lot more strikes. A story of last night was a lot of the hit by pitches and the pass balls. And tonight the Blues actually got around to swinging the bats a little more and manufacturing runs the classic way that we know. They got 6 on 8 hits, and they were able to hold down the Dodgers well. They got 5 hits and only mustered out 2 runs. So also a hats off to the pitching staff for the SLO Blues as well. And I mean, I think one of the bright spots tonight for San Luis Obispo had to have been Cody Albright.
Yeah, Cody Albright had an amazing outing in 4 innings, gave up just 1 hit, no runs, got the win, 9 strikeouts. He was really just pounding the zone, doing exactly what he told us, which was they can't hit the fastball. I'm going to throw it a lot, and that's exactly what he did. We almost didn't see his curveball at all the first time through the order, and then he started to work it in a little more, and it had the Dodger hitters absolutely fooled.
And it's a tough call of who I think the player of tonight's game is. It could either be Cody Albright or it could be Ethan Royal again. He had 2 base hits on the night and also a walk. He scored all 3 times he was on base. He did finish out the night grounding out and flipping into a fielder's choice. But I think tonight the bright spot for the Blues had to have been Ethan Royal again.
Yeah, Ethan Royal just doing it all up there at the plate. Drawing walks, seeing pitches, getting hits, scoring runs, doing a great job on the base pass. 2 stolen bases today. Like you mentioned, he scored 3 times. He took advantage of 2 wild pitches. He's really been a bright spot early in the season for the Blues, and he would be a great piece to have continuing throughout the year.
Also got to give flowers to Eric Furness, the high school kid coming in from St. Joe's in his college, we can call it his college debut, facing consistent college competition. He came through and went 2 for 4 with 2 base hits, 2 RBIs on the night.
Yeah, that 2 RBI base hit in the first inning was a great rally starter for the Blues. Get some momentum going early off of Perrick, whose birthday was today as well, but just a really good piece of hitting there, and then got another base hit in the 5th as well.
So the San Luis Obispo Blues will now host the West Coast Kings tomorrow on Sunday, a Mimosa Sunday. So if you all were listening to the broadcast tonight from home, I would highly recommend making the trip out to Sinsheimer tonight or tomorrow for Mimosa Sunday. And tonight we forgot to mention it was Frosé night. This is something introduced into the Blues season for the first time this year. Frozen rosés were being sold tonight at Sinsheimer, and I think that just made this win that much more sweet for the residents of San Luis Obispo. That's going to do it for Ryan Giacomini and myself, Nate Mills, here in the broadcast booth. We hope you all enjoyed listening and watching to this Slow Blue win, the first one of the season, and hopefully many more to come. Thank you for listening on the Slow Blue Streaming Network.